Christmas has been over for a while now, and I'd say I've made the most out of the presents I got. I now have a capture card so I can finally record my own gameplay footage. I got this sick-ass Mario calendar, yep, super epic, but most notably, I got a PlayStation 5. And let me tell you, this thing is amazing. The PS5 truly feels like the future of gaming, and I've had a ton of fun with it. I got my PS5 bundled with God of War Ragnarok, and even though I would like to cover this game at some point on this channel, I also got another little something included. It's not a full-fledged game, but it's one of the most enjoyable gaming experiences I've ever had. Astro's Playroom. This is one of the most incredible things I've ever played. It's filled to the brim with charm and polish, and the endless references to all things PlayStation is just amazing. On top of that, the levels seen throughout are all excellent. So today, I'm going to rank all 17 of them. Technically, there's 4 levels divided into 4 sections, and then a final boss, but it's close enough for me. So without further ado, let's go! 17. Teraflop Treetops. I don't think it's fair to call this the worst, since there aren't really any bad levels in Astro's Playroom, but having said that, this is easily my least favorite. You take control of a robot monkey and have to climb to the top of this giant wall. You do this by tilting your controller in the direction you want your hand to go and pushing the shoulder buttons to grab onto the ledges. You also have these bars where you need to swing the controller to swing the monkey. Again, this level isn't bad, and the idea behind it is pretty cool. I just find the whole gimmick to be not as fun as the game wants it to be. Also, because you can only move up and down on a straight path, that doesn't create a whole lot of room to explore and find secrets. 16. Mount Motherboard. It's structured the same way as the last level, but this one definitely had a lot more creativity put into it. You'll swing off these long vines, have to avoid these giant cannon shooting birds, and you've even got some spinning platforms where you have to carefully time when you grab the ledges. Other than that, there's not a whole lot of stuff that makes it stand out compared to the last level. 15. Bot Beach. This level makes me desperately want a vacation. Bot Beach is interesting because it's not really a level, and all you have to do to technically beat it is walk forward through these fans and then you're done. But it's just fun to run around and admire all the details poured into this one area. You've got a giant ocean to swim around in, and even go surfing if you feel like it, and the beach itself is filled with things to interact with. Plus, after you do go through the big fans, you'll find this little indoor pool area, which is pretty cool. Like I said, it's just pure joy to roam around carelessly and see just how much video games have evolved. If you're looking for platforming challenges, this level wouldn't be for you, but if you're looking for a place to just chillax and enjoy the sun, then this level definitely delivers and then some. 14. Fastlane Fields. Astrobot turns into a ball and rolls all over the place, but instead of controlling him with a thumbstick, you now move your finger around the controller to get Astrobot through the stage. You'd think this would be very annoying and make the level more gimmicky than fun, but no, it actually works really well, and I have no problem controlling the game like this. The only real reason this isn't higher on the list is the level itself. It's still fun and looks really cool, but it's also very simplistic, and there's not really any challenge to beating it. You've got a couple wide open areas, a few splitting paths, and some bumpers to reach higher areas, but that's nothing special. If it weren't for the fact that we're playing in a ball, this level would be pretty boring. 13. Bumper Broadway, and that title doesn't lie. There's tons of bumpers scattered around the stage, whether they're there to help you move around or just to bounce you around for the heck of it. Just like before, you're controlling Astro via a ball, but the level design is much more interesting with more splitting paths and obstacles to avoid. It's a lot shorter than Fastlane Fields, but it's much more energetic and exciting. 12. Gusty Gateway. Not quite as cool as Gusty Garden Galaxy, but still fun. This level takes place high in the clouds, and you've even got these clouds trying to blow you off the stage. There's tons of places to explore and secrets to find all over the place. I especially love this part when it's raining, and you can actually feel the rain vibrations on the PS5 controller. It's hard to describe, but trust me, it's really cool. You'll also find a few enemies hanging around different parts of the level, but they're really easy to take down. There's nothing nothing challenging about this level, and you'll beat it really fast if you're not going for collectibles, but it's so much fun to explore, and a great introduction to the rest of the game. 11. Hotel Hopalot. You hop through a giant aquarium / underwater park found in a hotel. For this level, you take control of this weird springy thing and jump to the end. You move him by pushing down the triggers and letting them go to jump, and you turn your controller in the direction you want to go. However, unlike the monkey I mentioned earlier in the video, you have much more control over how you move, allowing for more flexible level design. You'll float on these lily pads while jumping over bars, swing on the chandeliers, and have to avoid spikes. It's a very short level that could have been a lot more creative, but it's kind of fun hopping around, and the environment is fun to traverse. 10. Springy Spa. Now this is a much better bouncing level compared to the last one. It takes a bit longer to get to the end, and there's more platforms you have to utilize, with some of them moving around, forcing you to time your jumps. I also love being able to smash through stuff to find secrets. You could smash through stuff in the other level, but it's much more satisfying to do it here. 9. Renderforest. This level takes place in the depths of the jungle. Normally, I'm pretty indifferent to jungle levels, but this one is really cool. The entire jungle setting is nailed perfectly, and there's tons of stuff to do, like climbing giant trees, throwing objects to unlock new places to explore, and finding these hidden caves with secret messages on the walls. There's also a few different level design details you don't see much in other stages, which is kinda cool, but overall, it's a solid enough level with just enough to be unique. 8. Turbo Trail. Holy crap, this stage looks so freaking cool. The main gimmick of this level is that you launch yourself to each section by slingshot, then you bust out this sick glider and fly around. These moments make you feel like a true badass, especially when you've got the flying cars zooming close by. There's also a couple parts where you have to glide through obstacles like these rings and electric balls. Then, you climb up this giant rocket avoiding enemies before advancing to the next level. Once again, there's not really much of a level here, but the whole experience is just surreal. The super futuristic style of everything, combined with the feeling of epicness you get by gliding through the world, makes for one of the most memorable levels in the game. 7. 1994 Throwback. You may be surprised to find the final level not higher on the list, but just hear me out. You fight a giant dinosaur, and it is one of the coolest fights I've ever had in a video game. This guy will summon enemies out to hurt you, fire discs out of his mouth, and even bite the floor, sending shockwaves. This will make the dino tired after a few seconds, allowing you to punch both his eyes. Once that's done, it's glorious. You dance in excitement as you just beat the final, he's so much bigger. Now, he'll shoot at you with his laser eyes, send waves of missiles across the stage, and try to smack you with his big-ass tail. The only way to beat him now is to wait for him to blast the floor open to grab a trophy and throw it at them. Then, you start punching the crap out of his eyes, and finally, you pull his tongue back and launch it into his mouth, finishing him for good. This is such an excellent boss battle and a great way to finish the game, but if we're counting it as a stage, there's not a lot to this, and I wish there was more of a level leading up to the fight. 6. Caching Caves. Out of all the levels where you take control of other objects, this one is easily my favorite. In this particular stage, you take control of a mini rocket and fly it through a massive asteroid. Once again, you push down on the triggers to move and turn your controller to choose where you move. This thing is so much fun to move around in, especially since you can feel the rumble of the rocket boosters in your hands. The level itself is also pretty good too, and it's fun to explore every nook and cranny this stage has to offer. There's not that many obstacles to worry about, but the obstacles that are here, such as these electric walls, do take a little more brain power to avoid. This level is a ton of fun, and if it was just a bit harder, I would definitely have it higher on the list. 5. Orbital Obstacles. Same idea as before, but now you explore this giant space station, which looks a lot cooler. The level is also a bit harder as there's a lot more obstacles to avoid. You've got more electric walls with fans trying to blow you into them, you've got floating electric balls that appear in tighter spaces, and finally, you finish off this level by fighting this guy shooting lasers, and you have to light up some TNT to take him down. This is by far the best gimmick level in the entire game, but what makes it better is that the gimmick actually enhances the game in a creative way instead of for the sake of being a gimmick. 4. Raytrace Ruins. Now this is what you call a jungle level. This stage takes Renderforest from before and makes it 1,000 times better. The platforming challenges are a lot more interesting and are slightly more difficult, but the best part is that you have access to a bow and can fire arrows everywhere. This thing is a lot of fun to use and is the only way to defeat the level's boss battle. The boss isn't hard and all you have to do is wait for him to shoot his metal orbs and then blast the TNT in his head, but this is still a solid fight and gives the level some much needed excitement. 3. Electrocloud. The level starts off pretty harmless with you running through the clouds and there's a few enemies here and there, but then shit starts getting real. You're stuck in a massive thunderstorm and there's a ton of electrical platforms you need to watch out for. I love how the music turns into this epic rock piece to show that things are getting harder. It's such a great detail, and yes, this part actually does get a decent bit harder and I love it. You've even got these giant TVs trying to crush you like the thwomps in Mario games, and you gotta love this giant robot that lifts you to the next level. This is when the platforming really gets good. I love the more darker tone this level takes. It's a neat way to switch things up compared to the normal happy feeling levels. 2. Frigid Floes. I know we're all getting sick and tired of the snow by now, but trust me, this level is pretty epic. You're stuck inside this frozen wasteland sort of thing and are surrounded by freezing cold water. The first section features lots of snow and ice, including some ice platforms that break when you walk on them. The next part brings you into this narrow canyon with more snow and ice, and finally, you float on this platform down the rushing water with enemies and pillars of ice to be careful of before arriving at the aquarium. I can't believe that an ice level could be so amazing. It has that same feeling of exploration like Bot Beach, but it also has its fair share of challenge like Electrocloud. It's definitely one of the best levels in the game, but it's not quite as good as 1. Deep Dataspace. This level takes the wonder of exploring space and amplifies it to new heights. You traverse several asteroids, with each hiding secrets within them. You visit parts of satellites where you have access to a frickin' minigun. Like, come on, this is awesome. And the level captures the feeling perfectly of being lost in space while also showing off how incredible space is. Also, out of all the levels in the game, this one does the best job with exploration, as the hidden collectibles and secrets are spread out and have to be found in some pretty creative ways. Honestly, my only problem is that I wish the level was longer. They crammed so much amazing stuff into one enjoyable experience that I want more of, but as it is, it's still fantastic and easily the best stage in Astro's Playroom. Astro's Playroom was a fantastic introduction to the PS5, and here's hoping that someday we do get a full-fledged game in this style. But until then, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, then make sure to give it a like, and if you have a favorite stage from this game, then let me know down in the comments below. Also, make sure to subscribe with notifications on so you'll know when I post more videos like this. Have a great day, stay safe out there, and I will see you in the next one.